After learning the first mover advantage, let's proceed to second mover advantage. Although first mover advantage always comes with a lot of benefits, but it doesn't guarantee a success at the end. Sometimes, first mover also may come with the cost that need to be borne by the first mover company. As a result, second mover sometimes will gain a better advantage as it can easily to respond to the first mover strategies, readiness, and market conditions. Henceforth, the second mover can formulate a better strategies to better position themselves into the foreign market and make them a success entry at the end. Besides, second mover also can enhance its competitiveness through studying the market trend and conditions, customer election, and competitor conditions. This may give an advantage to the firm to build their reputation, enhance their production, and achieving economy of skills. At the same time, fulfilling the market needs and trying to differentiate themselves from the competitors in the market. Definitely, mitigating risk and mistake that experienced by the first mover could be an advantage for the second mover. Second mover can take advantage of time to develop process and technologies that are more efficient than the first movers. So it giving rooms for the second mover to better compete with the first mover, and besides, it also can reduce the probability of market failure entry. Next, timing entry, late mover advantage. Late mover advantage is the ability of later market entrants to achieve long-term competitive advantage by not being the first to offer a certain product in the marketplace. Late mover, always known as the later entrants after the first mover and second mover. Thus, this gives ample rooms and time for a late mover to learn from the first mover mistake and create and improve product designs. Meanwhile, late mover also have sufficient time to observe the market and formulate its viable marketing strategy as compared to the first mover and second mover. Late mover bear lesser costs as the initial cost of infrastructure development and customer education has been borne by the first and second mover. Late mover also gain more data and is able to utilize those data to start to understand the market and find more certainty about the success of the market to their products. Besides of the advantage, late movers also come with the disadvantage. Those disadvantages are first, barriers of entry set by first and second mover. Second, difficult to gain market share. Third, engage in stiff competition. Definitely, as a late mover coming into the market, then they have to compete with the first mover and the second mover who was early have already developed their patents. And those patents basically limit the late mover to further expand or imitating those product features, hence giving a disadvantaged position to the late mover. Besides, technology innovation also could lead to the difficulty for late mover in terms of their R&D, as the fast changes in technology innovation might shorten the product life cycle of those products. It could be costly for the late mover to keep chasing the first mover and second mover R&D and continuous to develop the latest products in order to fulfill the market needs. Hence, it engaged themselves in the red ocean competitions whereby the late mover have to compete with so many competitors. Next, we're going to discuss is the skill of entry. Another issue that an international business needs to consider when contemplating market entry is the skill of entry. Entering a market on a large scale involves the commitment of significant resources and implies rapid entry. Not all firms have the resources necessary to enter on a large scale, and even some large firms prefer to enter foreign markets on a small scale and then build slowly as they become more familiar with the market. The consequences of entering on a significant scale, entering rapidly, are associated with the value of the resulting strategic commitment. A strategic commitment has a long-term impact and is difficult to reverse. Deciding to enter a foreign market on a significant scale is a major strategic commitment. Strategic commitments such as rapid large-scale market entry can have an important influence on the nature of competition in a market. Significant strategic commitments are neither ambiguously good nor bad. Rather, they tend to change the competitive playing field and unleash a number of changes, some of which may be desirable and some of which will not be. It is important for a firm to think through the implication of large-scale entry into a market and act accordingly. Of particular relevance is trying to identify how actual and potential competitors might react to a large-scale entry into a market. Also, the large-scale entrant is more likely than the small-scale entrant to be able to capture first-mover advantage associated with demand preemptive, scale economics, and switching costs. The value of the commitment that flows from rapid large-scale entry into a foreign market must be balanced against the resulting risk and lack of flexibility associated with significant commitments. But strategic inflexibility can also have value. Balance against the value and risk of the commitments associated with large-scale entry are the benefit of a small-scale entry. Small-scale entry allows a firm to learn about a foreign market while limiting the firm's exposure to the market. Small-scale entry is a way to gather information about a foreign market before deciding whether to enter on a significant scale and how best to enter. By giving the firm time to collect information, small-scale entry reduces the risk associated with a subsequent large-scale entry. But the lack of commitment associated with small-scale entry may make it difficult for the small-scale entrants to build market shares and to capture first-mover or early-mover advantage. The risk-averse firm that enters a foreign market on a small scale may limit its potential losses, but it may also miss the chance to capture the first-mover advantage. After the firm decides which market to enter, time to enter, and what skill to enter, now it's time for us to look into how to enter, which means the entry modes. If you base on the list over here, you may see that firm can enter the foreign market through exporting, turnkey project, licensing, franchising, joint venture, wholly owned subsidiary, greenfield ventures, acquisitions. And now let us look through all these entry mode strategies. Next entry mode strategies, exporting. Many manufacturing firms begin their global expansion as exporters and only later switch to another mode for serving a foreign market. Exporting, also known as sales of product produced in one country to resident in another country. In general, you may consider it as a sales transaction whereby the exporting country export the products to the imported country. Definitely, the product's ownership will transfer after it complete the transactions. Exporting has two distinct advantages. First, it avoids the often substantial cost of establishing manufacturing operations in the host country. Second, exporting may help a firm achieve an experience curve and location economies. By manufacturing the product in a centralized location and exporting into other national markets, the firm may realize substantial scale economies from its global sales volume. In contrast, exporting also comes with several drawbacks. First, exporting from the firm's home base may not be appropriate if lower cost location for manufacturing the product can be found abroad. Particularly for firms pursuing global or transnational strategies, it may be preferable to manufacture where the mix of factors condition is most favorable from a value creation perspective and to export to the rest of the world from the location. A second drawback to exporting is that higher transport costs can make exporting uneconomical, particularly for bulk products. One way of getting around this is to manufacture bulk product regionally. This strategy enables the firm realize some economies from large-scale production and at the same time to limit its transport costs. Another drawback is the tariff barrier can make the exporting uneconomical. Similarly, the threat of tariff barrier by the host country government can make it very risky. A fourth drawback to exporting arises when a firm delegates its marketing, sales, and service in each country where it does business to another company. This is a common approach for manufacturing firms that are just beginning to expand internationally. The other companies may be a local agent or it may be another multinational with extensive international distribution operation. Local agents often carry the products of competing firms and so have divide loyalties. In such cases, the local agent may not do as good as a job as their firm would if it managed its marketing itself. Similar problem can occur when another multinational takes on distribution.